Hello, I'm Iris Sherman, and I, like yourself, am an innovator, and I've been in your shoes at this early phase. I've been a part of 6 startups, medical devices included, with successful exits, so I know a fair amount about setting the regulatory pathway. For today, I am going to review with you how important the quality management process is for medical devices and how to start at the beginning. What is Quality Management Systems, or QMS, for medical devices? It's a set of procedures and practices that contribute to product quality, and these are part of the 21 CFR 820 of the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations and are necessary to meet quality systems. It is very important to note that QMS is essential to verify whether the manufacturing process meets acceptance criteria to ensure a high quality final product is produced. Looking at the quality management system in practice, you see here that it has 7 different sections, and they do intersect. Let's just start at the top left, the process and production. This touches on the customer requirements. Then you have design control, which needs to start very early in the process, and we will get more into that later. Product surveillance, this happens when the product is on the market, and this is how you manage complaints and risk monitoring. It is also really important that you have the right resources, competent personnel, infrastructure, and a work environment. Management responsibility starts at the top. This is where you continuously provide management review. You have CAPA. CAPA is your corrective action and preventative plan, and this is what you need to do when there is a problem. And then lastly, you have change management because designs do change, and so does QMS. So what are the requirements? Well, they cover design, manufacturing, packaging and labeling, storage, and delivery of your medical device. This process should begin early in the product development. As I mentioned, quality system requirements are part of that 21 CFR Part 820, and this explains your manufacturing obligations in detail, as seen on this slide. So as I mentioned earlier, it all starts at the top. It's a management responsibility to ensure that processes are established, documented, and followed to ensure device safety, efficacy, and reliability. You are responsible for all components as seen in this slide. These are them outlined. They surround your policies and procedures within your QMS to include structure, authority, resources, and planning outlined in these procedures. Design, this is typically where you start, and the record keeping of a medical device is the most important aspect of quality management. There are 3 main components that make up design. The Device Master Record, or the DMR. This is your recipe describing all the steps and the materials needed to build, test, package, and maintain the device. The main purpose of DMR is to centralize the records for a specific device. Next, you have the Device History Record, or the DHR. This is the living history of the device that is recorded for each bat, lot, or unit. The DHR includes device specifications, such as the date of manufacture, quantity manufactured, labeling, and unique identifiers. And then you have the design history file, which is the DHF, which is the living history of how the device was designed. It includes information on user needs, design inputs, outputs, changes made, verification, validation protocols, and design reviews. So once your feasibility or proof of concept has been demonstrated, this is really where you have your design controls or your device functionality that is established. The plan is for continued development activities, beginning during the development, of course, of the design controls. But as you can see by this long list, they include input, output, reviews, verification, validation, transfer to production, and of course, any changes. Many of these processes can be based on routine validation methods that you've already utilized during your research. Risk management is a significant piece of QMS. You want to get those medical devices to market, but you want to ensure that they are safe, secure, and reliable over the entire product lifecycle. And the reasons include to reduce litigation and product liability, and to include understanding the risks presented by the device to ensure that fewer complaints can be mitigated. I mentioned CAPA earlier when discussing the entire process, and here it is in more detail. Each manufacturer should establish and maintain procedures for implementing corrective and preventative action. This is what you need to do when there's a problem and how to navigate the full picture of what happened, the record keeping involved, and documenting the entire process. You will hear ISO 13485. These are the international standards for quality management. And this chart does a nice job of comparing the two. But remember, your quality management requirements is a US requirement. And the design controls, the quality practices, and the procedures incorporated into design and development applies to both systems, though. And the FDA is currently working to align these two practices. These apply to all Class 2 and Class 3 medical devices, certain Class 1 medical devices, to include software medical devices. And I know that I have repeated this again and again, how important and relevant your documentation process is. Documentation is key for all quality management activities and records, and management tools that serve proof that the device was developed to ensure its safety and efficacy. This needs to happen early in the product innovation, during development, and on the market. Consider different methods of capturing the information to include going digital, as there are now software designed for this specific purpose. So if you are starting from the beginning in your startup mode as an innovator, these factors are important to keep in mind. QMS for a startup in the early phase looks quite different than QMS in an established medical device manufacturer. QMS for startups should start early with a focus on simple common sense practices for project planning and responsible research. Make sure that you pay attention to developing the three important aspects of product quality, which is your device master record, your device history record, and your design history file. And don't hesitate to initiate an early conversation with the FDA. And reach out to companies that provide quality management software for smaller companies. In closing, when a company progresses toward regulatory requirements and is subject to an FDA inspection, record keeping is the first place the investigators will start. The manufacturer's documents and records that I've outlined today for medical devices are what they are looking for. Thank you very much.